Alright, the app we're going to be working with here on the iPad is called Airscout. If you don't have it already downloaded, you can go to the App Store. It shows up right here. If we go into the search bar up here at the top, and we can actually type Airscout. And you'll see one right here that says Airscout Access. We can click on that. It'll show up here, the plain window, and we can download it here. We already have it downloaded, so we're going to go ahead and open it. First time you open it, or if it ever crashes or anything, you're going to open to this Airscout screen. It's going to show up here with a login, a username and password, that either we or your image provider would provide for you. So then it's going to load over here on the left, and just like all other ag programs out there, they have a hierarchy of grower, farm, and field. This is kind of the same thing, only it's got a company, a division hierarchy, and then an agronomist, and then it gets to our normal grower, farm, field. So this would be our grower, this would be our farm, this would be our field. Alright? Now, for us, because we have multiple divisions, we're going to show up a division for one farmer logging in. It'll actually load all the way to this field screen, and it'll show a list of all your fields. If you don't have any other options showing up from before, it's like you can load it all the way to this, and it works fine. Alright, so then this is our list of fields. If we had multiple fields, they'd all be listed right here, such as if we went to one of these other farmers. We can see a list of fields showing up. Alright. Once we've actually hit that, you'll see that screen refreshes every time that I tap on this up here. We notice this screen up here shows us the date, or this is the field number. 2013 is the field number, and then this is the date that that image was taken or uploaded. This is in the case of a picture we took and we've actually uploaded. Looking at our images here, we can scroll to the left or right. If we scroll to the left, we notice that our field number obviously stays the same. We're still on the same field number, but our date changes. So these were taken October 8th. We keep scrolling. We go through all these, and then we get to some that are taken September 22nd. These are all taken in this September 5th. We can scroll through the color photos and the thermal images at the same time. Every color photo is going to have a thermal imaging pair with it. You may end up with multiple pictures for the same flight date for the same field. If the field doesn't get shown clearly in one whole image, there may be two images there to capture the whole field, especially on really long fields or weird flying conditions in there. So now we'll start to go through. Down here at the bottom we have our tools. Alright, and we'll go through them one at a time. We'll start off with this trash can here. It's pretty simple. If we hit the delete button, we get a window that pops up. It asks if you want to delete it. Alright, if we say yes, I'm going to click no. But if we do say yes, it will delete it out of here, and it will delete it off offline content. So not only will you not be able to access it anymore, but anybody else using that same account won't have access to it as well. Right here is an info button. If we click on that, it'll tell us the image ID, location, and whether or not it's been aligned. Here this one says has not been aligned. It will say has been aligned there once you've actually aligned it. And then you have the option here, this date is September 5th. We can change that date if we want. This is usually not a problem on ones that are taken with the actual airplane, but if we take pictures of, say, a planting map and upload it into this site, which we'll show you later, when we upload it, it will show up as the date of whatever day we uploaded it. So we may want to actually set the planting map, instead of the day we uploaded it, we want it to show the day we actually planted. And if we click on change date, we get this to show up, and we can scroll up or down, change the date, the time, and then we just hit update date flown, and it'll change it in there. And then now, if we change that date, it all shows up in chronological order, so it'll move that one file back to the beginning wherever it needs to be. Alright, this next one is a filter. If we click on that filter, we have the choice of filter through the thermal, visual, or all. Right now it's set to all. When we scroll left to right, we can see all the images. If I go to thermal, all that I can scroll through are the thermal images. So if I'm tired of scrolling back and forth through tons of images, I can filter it by whatever I want and just show those images. We'll move it back to all for now. And now, back to where I can see color photos again. Alright. This box right here is an export box. I click on that, I can export it as a KMZ, a GeoTIFF, GeoJPEG, or if I have an airless printer, a wireless printer, I can actually send it to the printer. Alright, so if we go to one of these and I hit the export button and I select GeoTIFF, we may get an error. This image has not been aligned yet, and we'll need to align it before we actually do some exporting. So that brings us to the next one. We'll go ahead and align this image. We'll pick this image right here. Alright, so this one right here, this button right here is a trifold map, and that's where we're going to go to align it. So if I click on there, get a new screen shows up, and it should upload my image, and it should upload a Google Earth image behind it. Alright, that's important to remember. This is the image the camera took. This background image right here is the image that was taken from Google Earth from a satellite. And it's the same one. If you went on to Google Maps, Google Earth, you'd see that this same background image as well. Alright, so when we're in this screen, one thing we can do, go through all these tools down at the bottom. This one here is a GPS tool. If I click on that, it'll activate my GPS. And it shows I'm sitting at the office right here. We can zoom back in. We can see our GPS dot. This blue dot's your area of certainty. As the GPS gets better, that dot will get smaller and smaller and smaller as it pinpoints your location. Alright. Every time we click on the GPS, it's going to zoom to the GPS. It's going to zoom to the GPS, so you don't want to hit that if you're not sitting at the field that you're trying to look at. If I hit it again, it'll shut it off. And here I can basically put my finger anywhere on the screen and move it around all I want. Okay? I can scroll back and forth. If I put two fingers on the screen, I can zoom out and I can zoom in. So if I put two fingers and pinch them together, I zoom out. If I put my two fingers and spread them apart, farther apart, I zoom in. Then if I have my two fingers on there and I turn anyhow like that, it's going to turn that image as well. Okay. Then we go to down here, we have locked and unlocked. So here I can unlock it, and there it's locked. Lock means when I scroll around, the two images are locked together. See how they move in conjunction with one another. If I unlock it, and now I put my finger, say out here in this region right here, I only move the back image. Now, if I move my finger into here and move it, I only move the top image. They are no longer locked together. But if I stop and I go back down here and I lock it, now when I move it back and forth, they're both locked together. So what we have to do to reference it, first thing we do is we unlock, click that. Then we want to take this slider bars, our transparency, we'll slide that back and forth and we can make it as transparent as we want. We want to get it to where we can see through it. Now I'm going to grab this image. I'm going to put my two fingers in there and I can resize this image however I want. Scroll it all over. I'm going to blow up this back image by pinching and zooming outside over here. Now I'm going to move back into here and control this image. And I'm going to basically expand it till I get it to the size that it needs to be. And then turn it, get it lined up where I need it. And the slider and run it back out, double check my edges to where I'm satisfied with it. Now go back to a lock. I'm going to lock it, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit save image. If everything's working correctly, I should get a thing that tells me I saved it. Now with it locked, I can zoom out, take a look at it, and then I'm going to go over here to close Close that image. Now this image has been referenced, which means if we go to info, click on info, it says now says that it has been aligned. Alright, good thing. Now we should be able to export it. We hit the export. If we want to send it to the printer, we can. Say we want to do, say, GeoJPEG. If I click on that, it's going to load up email. I'll put an email address in up at the top. It already added this attachment, which will be the zip file with this image in it. So I can send it to myself, I can send it to a farm manager, landlord, anybody I want to take a look at that field. They're going to get that image. It's an easy way to extract an image out of this app at current time. Hard to see, but up here in the top left corner there is a cancel. And we can hit delete draft if we want to get out of it. The last tool you have down here at the bottom is this 4 arrows. Click on the 4 arrows and all it does is take us to this image where it blows it up full screen so we can see it. We can zoom in if we want. Scroll around anywhere on the image. Not a problem. Alright, get this working again. So we can X out of it, we can come back to this screen here. The only other thing that I guess I'd show you today is this plus sign up here in the corner. If we hit that plus sign, we have the option to load a device from our device library or Dropbox. So in this case, say we went to our device library, we can go to our camera roll and pick up an actual image. Alright. Okay. Click on the right image that time. It uploads an image. This image here is actually a yield map for the field here at the office. And we just printed it off and I took a picture of it with my iPad. Alright, so you can take a picture of anything with your phone, with your iPad that you wanted to come out and map. This could be anything from a printed yield map to even the yield monitor itself. If you have the map up there on the screen, you can take a picture and even reference it that way. So we're going to go down here to this trifold map and we'll go ahead and reference it. It's going to pull it up. We can size that down, and I'm going to go out here, out in the outside, and I'm going to keep pinching to zoom in, get it where I want it. Then I'm going to go back, put my fingers inside this map here, and I'm going to pinch that to make it bigger. Spin it how it needs to. Then I'm going to go down here to my slider bar and run my transparency. And now I'm going to extend that to where it fits like it's supposed to, right beside the office. Now, go ahead and lock it. Take the transparency back. If I activate my GPS, shows my dot there, and as it looks in, if I So now if I engage my GPS, I can zoom in on that and actually so basically we get it there, pull our transparency back, lock it, and now we can see that image. If we engage our GPS, we can see our dots there. We can zoom in if we want to, but now we could actually walk right over top of last year's yield map, look at anything we wanted to out there in the field. So if we were out there scouting, say this year, it may be nice to pull last year's yield maps and go to areas where we lost yield last year and try to use that to help determine if it's happening again and maybe what happened last year as we went through it. If we hit the save image, hit OK, we can go down to close, and now it's going to show up. So now when we go back in and look at it, we notice it's locked in that same position. Alright, hit close. Basically the only other thing is navigating in this tree. We're looking at this field here. We can hit it, refresh it, we can go to other fields. If we want to go backwards in the tree, this very top part is where we have to click. Clicking on these tabs here will do nothing. You have to be up here, clicking where it says all in that back arrow to actually take you backwards in the tree.